Okay, so basically what you want to do is once you have AutoCAD open, you're going to go to Open, Drawing. You're going to look for that L drive, CAD 116 Summer 2014 plate title block. You open that up, you have something like this. Our first job will be to edit the title block so you can use it more often and make sure it's based on your project, and right now it says Joe Cerrone. So make sure you change that. And the date, actually it's, wow, 2009. It's been a while. Alright, so change the date, the name and the date.
How do you move it up?
Scrolling, that is true, I didn't go through that. To scroll around, use your mouse, look up here. There's a scroll button in the middle. This will allow you to zoom in and out. You scroll it in, you scroll it out. And to move your screen, or move the area, you hold it, you press it down and you move your mouse.
Right or left?
No, the middle. Only in the middle. We're playing with the middle right now. That's all you're doing. So you're hitting the middle button and dragging it. So you're dragging your screen pretty much. And you can zoom in and out to places where you want to change stuff. So you gotta get it in. And the next step to change the text in this title block, it's the same thing as many other programs. All you have to do is double click on the area and you edit. I'm sorry? No, you have to press it. You'll see a hand come up. So you press, you'll see a hand, and that means you can move your screen. So basically what you want to do is hover over the text that you want to edit. You double click on it, and just like the Word program, you're just going to edit it to fit your needs. If your name doesn't fit, and shorten it. If it still is an issue, let me know. We'll fix it. The date also has to be changed. I recommend changing it to today, or at least to this year, in case somebody ever sees this. And basically that is pretty much what you want to set up. The title you can leave as is for now, because you will have to edit that out every time you do a new project. That way each time you print it out, you'll know what title it has on it. Once you have this established, what I want you guys to do wait, did I just, oh, there's a lot of them. Okay, what you want to do is go to,
I need to make a new text file with the whole date thing.
right.
I still don't know how to just get it where I have the cursor set.
Alright, so once you get that, you want to do is hit the red area again on top, or the icon for AutoCAD, and you're going to do Save As. So double click on the icon on the left corner, Save As, and you're going to save this title block. You change it, don't call it plate title block. I'm still not sure why it's called plate title block. Just call it title block, and you're going to save it into your H drive, which is your first initial and your last and your first 7 letters of your last name.
Where did you go for the file save?
So you go icon, save as. You will go to your H drive, and there where you have CAD 116 created, because you guys all created CAD 116 folder. If you haven't created it already, right click, new folder, and call it CAD 116. You're going to open that folder, and that's where you're going to save your work. So at that point, you call it title block. What I recommend also is saving it as a older version. In case you're going to use AutoCAD 2010 or something at home, I recommend saving it as an older version. That way you can work on it on a different computer if it's an older version that you're working on. So basically, 2010 is a safe bet. A lot of people already have that, and so you won't have a problem. If you saved it as 2013, that's all right. Don't worry about it. I'll help you change it if you need to later on, or you can resave it again. So In case you saved as 2013, all you have to do is go back to the same step, save as. You call it the exact same thing, just change the files of type. And then it's going to ask you, do you want to replace? And you just say yes. And that's how you resave it as an older version. All right, we have that done. That's our title block file that's saved on your own computer. Our next step is to create this lab 1 finally. To do that, actually I should open it up for you guys. So this is our lab 1 we're going to work with. And so we want to call it lab 1. If you have today's date, which you already have. So we go to the title block, we call the title block lab 1. So again, double click. I prefer if you guys use capital letters on that, lab 1. But if you don't, I won't. It's okay. Once you have that, you do the save as again. So, but this time you gotta save as, you gotta call it lab 1. I have to call it something else because I already have lab 1. So. Do you want to? I can't. I'm gonna call it 1A. So we'll have that saved, and it's actually gonna show up here. It's gonna call where it's at, H drive, CAD 116 lab. Mine's called 1A. Yours should be 1. Just check on this. Okay. For this project, we're going to actually work on our title block page. So everybody should have this. And what we're going to work with is using the grid system. That's our basic understanding of AutoCAD, very simple and easy. To do that, you have to activate, there's a tab on the bottom here that says, okay, so hopefully your file has the grid on. It's pretty pre-established. So grid display is on. You can even type in F7. If it's highlighted right down here, that means it's on. If it's not, it'll be gray, which would mean it's off. Our next step will be to turn on our snap option. Our snap option allows us to snap to points on this grid. So any intersecting lines, there will be somewhat of like a point that you could attach to. To do that, right next to your grid that's highlighted, on the left side of that is the snap mode. Activate it by left-clicking on it. That will activate that.
What mode is it called?
Not ortho, on the left side. Oh, snap mode.
Snap.
Yes.
So click left.
So basically, once you have that on, the default settings, you don't have to worry about this. I'm going to show it to you guys. But if you want to adjust your grid, which we will in the future, but you don't have to do this, you right-click on it, and you get that setting options. There you can adjust the spacing on your grid and how it snaps. So here's your grid option, here's your snap option. These are the setups for both. It looks complicated? Kind of is. But actually it's pretty easy once you get a hang of it. So we'll leave that out for now. We'll get into that a little bit later in class. Or maybe next class. And we're going to start drawing. You should have your Home tab activated. There's different tabs up here. Each one represents different tools that you can use to build whatever you're designing. There's 3 different setups. Or actually, there's more. There's 4. There's 4 different setups of these tabs. There's drafting annotation, 3D basics, 3D modeling, and AutoCAD Classic. AutoCAD Classic is nice because it actually brings you back to all the tools that were used before 2008 when they didn't use this ribbon. But afterwards they started using this program, so this setup, so we only teach it in this setup. But if you're an old school person and you like old school stuff, AutoCAD Classic is still an option. So basically, here are all your tools you'll be using. There is a command bar on the bottom where it says type a command. You do not have to select anywhere in here to type in. Actually, you can just be on anywhere on your screen, and you can type in any letter, and it'll forward you to that command. So you can try this by typing the letter L. And actually, it auto gives you these options to choose from. You can turn this option off so that these don't pop out. But usually, if you do L, enter, it'll go directly into your line command.
How do you get that?
So all you have to do is type in L anywhere on your screen. L, and then if you click enter, you'll be in your line command. So you can, once you're in your line command, what you can try doing is selecting a point on your paper space and selecting a second point somewhere on your paper space, and you'll create a line. Now it's blue because I have my blue layer on, which we'll get more into that later.
How do you do that?
What,
I'll get the line?
Yeah.
I
Right there. So that's that. Or your other option, if you don't like using your keyboard, or you feel like you want to eat a sandwich and you just want to work with one hand, you can use the tabs up here. Just clicking on them activates that same line command. And you create a line, like so. It keeps going until you tell it that you're done working with the line command. And to do that, you can type in enter or space, or you can right click and enter. Those are three main options. I'll go back to that in a second. So basically, playing around with that line command, you'll see that you're actually, when you do line command, and you're moving your mouse very little, it's snapping onto these points. That is what snap toolbar, snap tab is. Snap mode. If you turn that off, you'll see that you can go in between the boxes and draw lines, like so. One thing that, okay, I'm going to turn it back on, so forth. The cool part about AutoCAD, it actually specifies things on where your mouse is. There's a polar, so it specifies what angle you're at, and so forth. And also specifies your coordinate system here on the left, which is X and Y. Also specifies the distance at which point you're snapping. Some ½ inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches at 90 degrees, and stuff like that. Your 0 degrees, ½ inch, 1 inch. So you get all this information, which is maybe very useful, especially if you're doing tool and die, right? 0, 0. So that's very useful, and the basic understanding that X and Y are very important in a lot of fields. Once you feel like you're completely done playing around with this line command, you can either right-click Enter, you can hit the space bar, you can click the Enter button, or you can hit the Escape button. So you have a lot of options. Each one will actually do the same thing almost. Space, Enter, and right-click Enter are all exactly the same. Escape just escapes you from that command, which may be what you want, maybe not. Okay, so we have this drawn, and of course that's not what you wanted, because it probably doesn't look anything that you'd like. So we will select it all. There is a select option that you will work with for the rest of your life in AutoCAD. It's pretty much creating a box and selecting an object to remove it, or move it, or do something else to it. To do that, you just click on the screen somewhere at the corner, you drag your mouse over, and then you let go. And actually, you don't actually have to hold the mouse down. What you can actually do is click at a corner, just move your mouse, and click again. Now, if you don't want to, if you want, like escape, like, oh, I selected the wrong stuff, just click escape. Escape is a wonderful tool, and probably your #1 tool will be undo. You will be dreaming undo at the end of this class. So undo button is up here. You can do it that way. You can undo stuff that you just did by accident, or the other option is you can type in U enter. and that will give you a command. So if when you type any letter, it goes directly to the command. So it pops out. You get the first command that U stands for is undo. So let's say I'm going to delete all these. So I'm going to select it all, just like I said. Click one spot, click at the other corner, delete. Or you can use the erase button, which is, so not used to using this. Oh, right here, the eraser, right there. So that's how you erase it. Or at one point, like if I drew a line and I'm like, oh no, that's the wrong line. So what I can do is go to undo, or actually it's like I really need that line. Why did I delete that? Well, you can go forward or redo. I don't know why they call it redo. And it goes back forward. But you can't do it too far forward, so keep that in mind. Once you undo, you're pretty much, that's it. Don't count on that. Undo, you can go pretty far, so that's very helpful. All right, we'll remove that by selecting it, either typing, clicking on the erase button up here, or clicking on delete. Another cool thing about AutoCAD in the newer version is every tool, if you leave your mouse on it for a little bit, it'll exactly explain what it does. So this is rotate, this is move, it's going to come up and it shows you how to move. Actually, I wonder if it has, yeah, it probably has lines here. So here's line. With line, you can create, yeah, so forth. So if you're stuck or you want to learn about new tools, that's a great way of doing so, even though you're going to learn this in class. All right, we can finally move forward to doing this first lab. I hope. So we have a drawing like so with dimensions. We guys don't have to worry about the dimensions. We'll get into that a little bit later. And we're just going to create this. So basically, based on our grid setup, which is 1/2 inch. So if you start about 1 inch away from the edge, at this point, you can start creating a line. So I'll show you guys how to do that. I might actually do a half screen. That's fine. So you guys can see the PDF at the same time. So I'm going to go to my line command. I'll go about this corner here, about 2 blocks down and 2 blocks across. We'll click on that point. Remember, you have to have your snap mode on to make this work. So we got that. Then we're going to go to the right, making sure it's at 0 degrees. Otherwise, you'll be at an angle. The same lines. Well, you're following the grid basically. So we're going to go all the way down, and you're going to type in the distance this time. You're going to type in 1.5, and it creates a line. Now you're not quite done because you're still in your line command. Right here in the command bar, it specifies you're still in a line command. It wants to know what's your next point. The command bar is great because it will explain exactly what you need to do next to achieve whatever you're looking for. So if you're stuck and you're like, why isn't this not working? You can check the command bar and see what it needs to accomplish the command.
Okay, so like right now, it's the command bar down there.
It's going to be long. So we did the 1.5, or you can just move your mouse and you can do the math. Based on the drawing, this, man, they really didn't specify this. There's more information here. Okay, there, on the other side we can tell what, so that's going to be 1 inch and 1 inch. Yeah, okay. We're going to go down 1 inch, so you can go move 2 boxes and just click, or you can type in 1 enter. We're going to go 1 across, 1/2 inch across, and 2 down again, and then 2 across, and close it up. And you could right click and click enter, or just click enter on your keyboard, and you'll get this part right here. Okay, so our next one will be, we'll start this point right here. So we create a line again by clicking on it, get to that point, go over looks like it's 2 inches. It shows at the bottom right here. Go down 3, across, down 2, 3. And you guys can see I did this too many times. And I'll show you even a faster way to do this. So that, and then go click Enter Escape once you're done with enclosing one box, because you don't want lines in between. Instead of going back to the line command, what you can do as a shortcut is clicking Enter or Space, or right click, and it'll go back to your previous command, which was line. So that way you don't have to go up and find line command every time, which is nice. And you do it to all sides.
Question
Yes.
for the objects.
Actually, since I have the dimensions set up for you guys, because you guys have to, for dimensions, there's different styles, different thickness, different sizing, and so forth. I had it preset for a title block, so you guys can actually put the dimensions in it also. So to do that, you go to your annotation area. There's going to be like a linear dimension, and basically what you need to do is select that. You're going to select 2 points. So from where it starts and where it ends. So I want a distance from this to this point, and I move it up and attach it to the grid in that spot. And you can do exactly what you see on the PDF, like so. Instead of going back to the command, of course, all you have to do is click Enter or Space. It goes right back to your dimension tool or command. So again, it's right click, or you can type in Enter, and it goes back to exactly the same tool.
So should we put labels on it then?
Labels?
The dimensions or not?
Yeah, put the dimensions in, please.